Hi everyone, it's Louisa. I took a 300-point trade this morning with 5 contracts, which was, I think, one of my best trades yet with ICT. I want to take you through step by step what I was thinking, what my rationale was, why I went short instead of long. And so, um, join me in this journey. I'm going to go kind of slow because I really want you to understand what I was seeing, what I was looking at, so that you can follow for your future trading journey. Also, let you know that today is my first day that I have been upright. I have been so ill since coming back from vacation. So I've been a little quiet this week. But anyway, here we are, and let's go through step by step. In order to understand what is happening on the lower time frames, it's imperative that we take a look at what's happening on the higher time frames. So I want to go to the daily time frame, and I want to start there. And let's just kind of take a look at what price has been doing and what I was looking at. So on the daily, now on Sundays, I will be beginning this weekend, starting to probably go live with my key levels for the upcoming week. So it's probably going to be like 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays, so you can look and join me if you feel so inclined. But let's just take a step back and look at what the daily candles were looking like this week. So here we're on the daily, and to the right here, you can see that I have the 4-hour candles on my chart. And this is a window that I use daily in order to take my trades at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock specifically. But if we look at the higher time frame, here we have all-time highs up here at 26,399. And we have previous month high. And so here is my first SIBI between these 3 candles, candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. As you can see, price has been up here 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It has not gone through this daily candle, which is a higher time frame level. Okay, 4 times we have hit it and 4 times we have dropped. So this to me is a key level that I am watching. Also, we have another key level, which is down here between candle 1, 2, and 3. So this is another SIBI, and price has been between this SIBI and this lower SIBI. Okay, so these are 2 key levels that have been on my chart now for 1 to 2 weeks. Now let's drop down to the 4-hour, because the 4-hour gives us a really good view on what's happening. So here's my daily SIBI that we just took a look at, and here is the lower daily SIBI. Now these are key levels because they are on the higher time frame, okay? And we can see that price has been in a buy cycle, market maker buy cycle, from down here all the way up to here. Now this daily level here, look how many times price has hit it. Price has hit it once, twice, almost 3 times here, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. And out of 7 times, it has not gone through or entered even to the 50% of this daily level. So this is really key to me. If price is bullish, it's going to come into this level and then want to go to the 50% and above to the all-time highs. But 7 times it has rejected from there. So the 4-hour is a really nice time frame to take a look at the higher level if you're a day trader. And I am a day trader, which means that I am opening and closing my trade on the same day. I am a trader that likes to look for the longer run. So I like anywhere from 50 points to, well, 300 points today. Okay, so we can see that we've been in a buy model here, and then let me just take a look here. This 4-hour candle hit at 2 o'clock on Thursday. So this is really important. Now, please notice that on my chart, I like to have my hourly SIBIs and BISIs because this is what I'm trading off of. I am looking for the hourly to give me a framework so that when price hits anything that's hourly for me, I then go down to the 5-minute time frame to look for an entry model. So on when price started to, let's see, on Wednesday, the 10th of December, price started to drop. You can see that I have put on my chart the hourly SIBIs as we have moved down. Now, as price moves up, I'm using these hourly SIBIs as like a ladder or a stepping stones to move from level to move up. But I got quite excited on Thursday at 2 p.m. Because price hit again this key level. This was the 7th time we hit this level. This is why it's so important that the higher time frames are really on your chart, okay? Because the higher time frames, once you align yourself with IPTA, the higher time frames, it is so much easier to trade, okay? We don't want to counter trend trade, or at least I don't. I want to move with price, with IPTA. Okay, so let's keep in mind that Thursday at 2 p.m., this candle hit our daily where we had rejected 6 times before. Now let's drop down to the hourly. Actually, I want to move down to the 15-minute. And this is where I want you to take a look at what happened with opening on Thursday. So when the market opened at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, what happened? So here we are. Here's our candle from Thursday at 2 p.m. And then when price opened in Asia early Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, well, we had this big drop. So price showed weakness by dropping down, okay? And here, this blue box here represents Asia. Asia did what I like it to do, which is to range. And what does that mean? That means that it is engineering liquidity above and below. So all we want to do now is see, how is London going to react to this? Is London going to move up and take the Asia high and continue going higher? Is London going to take the Asia high and then drop lower? Well, look what happened in London. So we have London open here at about 2:30, and I was watching London last night. I'm often awake at night watching London because it is the precursor to what is going to happen in New York AM. So again, we're on the 15-minute time frame, and we can see that London opened and it dropped lower. We came back up into this SIBI, and then we dropped lower again. We came back up. We did a bit of a mohawk, right? We came up a little bit above this SIBI, and that was at 9 a.m. Now let's drop down to the 5-minute time frame. So you can see that if you're following what happens in Asia and following what happens in London, we can see that there is a trend that is bearish, okay? Because we want to trade with the trend. We know that this candle has rejected from this area for the 7th time. So we have this big gap as price opened, Asia ranged, London, London, London. We are moving down, 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 down. So any thought of price moving higher today? Well, we're not really seeing visible evidence of that, are we? Right? What we want to do is we want to look at what is the market giving us? You may have your own bias. You may think that, well, price should go higher, you know. But we shouldn't be married to that view. We should be looking at what is the market showing us. It's given us clues, and we just need to follow those clues. So we had Asia range, engineering liquidity above and below, but London never went up to take Asia high. And when I see London not having the strength to take Asia high, that to me is a little checkbox that says, price is weak and we can likely be presenting with a bearish type movement. So again, London, London, London. Now, this is where it gets interesting. At 7 a.m., so this candle at 7 a.m., you can see the price down here, if you can follow me, and we're on the 5-minute now. At 7 a.m., price starts to climb up, and it takes out London, the 90-minute low of London, but it does not go any higher. Now, what I'm looking for here are any SIBIs on the left-hand side that would show to me that price wants to move lower. So from here to here, we have a 5-minute, and I'm going to put on here 5-minute SIBI. And then this one, I just want to do this with you guys. Here is our next SIBI. And we can see that price is staying below the SIBI. Price comes up, it gives a little bit of a mohawk, but then it moves lower. It comes back into the SIBI, and this is for me, and this is at 9:35. This candle right here is 9:35. You can see that price comes back into the SIBI. But does it move above this SIBI? No, it does not. It does not even come into this SIBI. This is showing weakness. Okay, this is showing us that price at this point is bearish. Now, I am always going to wait for my macro to begin. My macro begins at XX45 to XX15. So that would be 9:45 to 10:15 is my first macro. My second macro is 10:45 to 11:15. So I'm not taking any trade unless I see a manipulation occur in that time frame. Now this is this candle right here on the 5-minute. And I don't go below 5-minute. I'm looking at the hourly and I'm looking at the 5-minute. This candle right here at 9 a.m. is in my macro, and this is where manipulation happens, right here. So what is our next step after manipulation happens? Well, our next step is we want to see displacement. So we want to see strength. And here we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles down. That is displacement to the downside. So now our next step is to look for change in the state of delivery. And again, I'm on the 5-minute. I know there's lots of traders who move to the 1-minute, but I find that the 5-minute time frame is a solid time frame. If price is going to move, it's going to show a solid move on the 5-minute. If I'm on the 1-minute or 2-minute, price can shake me out. Like it can either give me a false change in the state of delivery, but the 5-minute is pretty solid. And if we're going to have a good move, and what I mean by a good move is like at least 100 points, I don't need to be in the beginning of the move. I need to be certain that the move is going in the direction that I think it's going. Okay. And I'm quite happy to take 50 to 80 points. I'll take 100 and be super happy, but I don't need to be in the move at the beginning of the move. So right here, we have a change, or sorry, we have a manipulation right here at 9 o'clock. Now I'm going to wait for the 9:30 candle. So let's look for that 9:30 candle, which is right here. I'm going to put this on my chart. 9:30 right here. So let's just put that on the chart. Now, at 9:30, I'm still not exactly sure which way price is going. So I'm not taking a trade if I'm not clear can be in terms of which way the market wants to go. So here's our 9:30 candle right here. Price comes back up, and where does it go? It goes into this important SIBI right here. Okay. And so price comes back up, and then we have another candle that opens here, and this is the 940 candle. And I'm going to put this here, 940. Now, even though my macro starts at 9:45, I can look for a trade starting 3 minutes early. So 9:42 is a time that I can begin to look for a trade. Now, because I'm on the 5 minute here, I want to look for a slightly better entry. So I'm going to go down to the 2 minute. Okay, so here we are on the 2 minute time frame, and I want to look under a microscope and get an idea of where price wants to go. So here's our candle here, the manipulation. Price comes back up, we got displacement, price comes back up, we got displacement, and price comes back up one more time into the SIBI. Okay, and it shows a willingness to drop lower. Why? We have a big black candle here. Now, where is my change in the state of delivery? So change in the state of delivery is one candle or a series of up-close candles that leads into this array of candles dropping. So it could be one candle or it could be an array of candles. In this case, it's an array of candles. Here is my change in the state of delivery, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. And again, another signal that we're going to drop lower is that price never goes through, the body does not close above the SIBI. This is a mohawk, okay? Wicks do the damage, but the bodies tell the story. So this is on this candle 940. So this is an entry here. And I think, and I'll just put it on here in a second where my actual entry was, but this would be, just look here. We have a long wick on this candle. So I still was being very patient with this. Price came down, another displacement, and then we came back up. Now on the 2 minute, you can see that we don't have a fair value gap, but let's drop to the 1 minute. So if I'm not seeing what I need to see at this point, I'm dropping to a lower time frame. So here's our displacement, price comes back up, we drop again. Here is your next entry right here. And let's just take a look where I entered this trade. I entered here. So I gave myself, again, more displacement. We have a nice SIBI, and this is where I entered the trade, right here. And then how do we know where the trade is going? So we never get into a trade without knowing what is our stop loss. So my stop loss on this was the consequent encroachment of the PD array above. So I'm just going to put that in here so that you guys can take a look. Stop loss here. There's our stop loss. If you wanted to be really, really safe, you could put it on this high, but I'm okay with the previous PD array because if price moves above the consequent encroachment of this PD array, then I'm going to be reevaluating my trade framework, okay? So now how do we know where price is going? So let's go back to the 15 minute for just a second here. And we have on our chart our higher time frame. Here we go. our higher time frame PD arrays. So this blue PD array here, we've had price come back into this PD array, I think 4 or 5 times. So once price came below this, I was quite confident that price would continue to drop. Now, at the same time that I am watching NQ, I'm also watching ES. ES was lagging today. So I had my change in the state of delivery, and then from here, price dropped, it came back into these SIBIs. I'm going to go back to the 5 minute, even the 2 minutes, you can see the SIBIs. And every time price entered the SIBIs, it continued to drop. So we can expect a drop, then we retrace. You know, this is another entry right here in case you missed anything above there. Price continued to drop. Now, this green box here is a daily busy. So this is a key level. Okay. So I am watching to see if price wants to move lower once it hits the 50%, the consequent encroachment, that I know that price is very weak and wants to continue to drop. We reached the previous week low, and we also moved below the previous day low. So those are key levels. ES was lagging. So NQ was kind of leading the parade on this one, and I just thought to myself that ES will probably want to catch up, so I remained in the trade. Now, once we hit the bottom or the lowest level of this daily BISI, this is when I started to think to myself, okay, we could see some accumulation and then a change in the state of delivery. And so what did we experience here? So I entered at, or I exited at 25,206, which was at previous week low. And then I'm watching this area to see if there is a smart money reversal here. So even though I didn't take the smart money reversal, let's just take a look at it. Because if you miss this entire rundown, you can just be patient. Just be patient and wait for price to bottom out and then look for a smart money reversal. So what are the key characteristics of a smart money reversal? Well, first of all, we have accumulation. Then we have a low below a major level. So a previous week low is a major level for me. Now I'm on the 2 minute here because I like to be on the 2 minute, not the 1 minute. I even like to be on the 5 minute. So we have a low. So we have a breaker block. So we have a low, high, lower low, higher high. So let me just put that on the chart. So if you miss that entire rundown, do not worry about it. Just wait for price to find its basement. So we have a high, we have a low, we have a higher high, and a higher high, and then we have a lower low. So here's our breaker block. That is the first signature of a smart money reversal. Now we're looking for a change in the state of delivery. So what is a change in the state of delivery? Well, we take the lowest point here, which is this candle, and then we're looking for any black candles, and it could be one candle or a series of down close candles. Now, in this particular case, I would take the series of this candle, 1, 2, 3, 4, because this to me is just, I think this is just from experience, that this would be my change in the state of delivery. Okay. So change in the state of delivery to go up. Then I am looking for an inverted fair value gap. So right here is an inverted fair value gap. Here's my change in the state of delivery. So I wait for price to come above there, and then I also want to see a fair value gap, which is here. Here's our fair value gap. This is a BISI. And then my entry is going to be right here to go long. That's how simple it is, okay? So we just need to understand what a smart money reversal is. So smart money reversal is we're looking for a key level, so previous week low. We're looking for a breaker block, so we have a high, low, higher high, lower low. Then we have a change in the state of delivery. Price comes up. We wait for price to come back down into this fair value gap, and then we go long. Boom. And if you had entered here at 200 points, 25,200, and we got to here, we're at 25,367, you'd be 167 points up. That's not a bad trade, right? It is that simple. It is that easy. But you must have your higher time frames on your chart, which you're going to put them on your chart on the weekend, and you're going to keep them on your chart. And so the lowest time frame that I'm looking for is a daily and hourly. And then my entry, I drill down to the 5-minute to the 2-minute, okay? And I'm looking for a change in the state of delivery, a breaker block, inverted fair value gap, and fair value gap, and boom. It's that simple. And if you can master this strategy and be patient and wait for it, it is just going to give you day after day after day of success. So today I had 300 points. I know when to call it a week. I take 1 to 2 trades per day max. This is what I'm looking for. And I'm looking for the same thing day after day. This is my bread and butter. This is what I trade. I don't deviate from this. It is the same old, same old, same old. So if you have found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe so we can grow this community and help other traders just develop a strategy with me that is simple, repeatable, easy to see. If you have any questions, please post them because I will be answering questions for the next 10 hours. And so anyway, so there you go. Thanks for joining me today, guys. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you sometime next week. Okay, bye for now.